Though the prestigious gargantuan Emirates Cup is still to be played, Arsenal have now fulfilled 5 of their 6 pre-season fixtures that were available publicly to see. With 5 wins, 5 conceded and 19 scored, Arsenal are in terrific form heading into the new season as it kicks off on Friday the 4th of August, acting as the curtain raisers under the lights at a tough away ground. Again. Cheers, Sky. So, pre-season. I have to say, I don't agree with people who say that pre-season tells you nothing. To me, it just tells you a different set of data points, and it's about adjusting our eyes to see what can be gleaned. Here's 5 things you may have missed. Marquinhos' quiet promise. While he would have gone under the radar for many, Marquinhos, our new 19-year-old signing from Sao Paulo, looks a very interesting player to me. He looks explosive, direct, and quick across the ground. For a team playing high and counter-pressing more, his work rate and physical profile means he has all the tools to defend from the front, which appears to be one of Arteta's non-negotiables when recruiting an attacker. I think he would have been lost in this team even 18 months ago, without Arsenal staying higher up for longer periods of the game, something that I think someone like Reiss Nelson has suffered from in the past. While he develops the ability to separate from his man, works on his combination patterns and becomes more confident, his body will help him. At 19, he already looks like a man, and there's so much to be said for that. You'd have no problem sticking him on with 20 minutes to go to harry and get his body in front of people, as he did with Marcos Alonso against Chelsea. So many players at that age just get lost. Technical security looks good, though I haven't seen him against an elite pressing team like Liverpool yet, but we'll see. Something that the excellent Rohan Jivan pointed out to me is his body positioning. It's actually something I think Reiss Nelson struggles with that Marquinhos seems to have naturally. He receives the ball in space, often with time, having positioned himself correctly and on the back foot when necessary. He's a space expander, not contractor. He's comfortable opening his body out, and his positioning makes it easier to execute the next action, as seen here. One to watch. Before I move on, I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, and that's the OneFootball app. When I woke up this morning, the first thing I did was check the Arsenal versus Chelsea score on the OneFootball app, and it's great for that. It gives you results, fixtures, live scores, updates, stats, and updates on the transfer market for pretty much every league you can think of. The best feature, which is very useful at the moment, is the aggregator of transfer rumours, so you don't have to go looking around the internet on Twitter or Reddit. You get all the rumours in one feed here. I really do rate this app, so go and download it. The link is in the description. Body strength. Physical capacity will never ever eclipse technical quality, especially in this league, in my opinion, moving forward. But it runs a close race, and you can't have one without the other. Physical capacity can mean many different things: explosiveness, ability to repeat actions, but it also encompasses muscle and size. Look at the difference in size between Nketiah in 2019, last season, and now. There's definite growth, and it shows in his game as he's increasingly playing with his back to goal in a facilitative role, no longer just a kind of fox-in-the-box finisher. You need that strength to create the anchor in the ground for others to bounce off. Benjamin White also looks like he's added a few kilograms of muscle, and Martin Odegaard and Bukayo Saka look bigger to me now as well. Even Charlie Patino, though we didn't see him in pre-season, has clearly been adding muscle to his frame. There's clearly been some serious gym work going on over the summer at Arsenal, and probably stretching further back. And we should be encouraged that whatever's being implemented by Sam Wilson and the rest of the strength and conditioning team at Arsenal appears to be working. With a young team, it's only to be expected that a lot of them are filling out and growing into their bodies, but it's also good to see that progress is being made to give them as many competitive advantages as possible. Gabriel Jesus' intelligent movement. If you missed how good Gabriel Jesus looked in an Arsenal shirt this pre-season, then excuse my terrible Scottish accent, but I'll quote one of my old maths teachers, Mrs. Fisher's favourite put-down. You're either blind or you're stupid. All jokes aside, the more subtle elements of his game are just a delight to watch. I'd like to highlight 2 moments that stood out to me while watching. As shown in my assessed video for Gabriel Jesus, he can drift out wide to receive, creating new possibilities that just weren't there all that often with Lacazette. Here, Jesus finds himself out wide in what most strikers would see as an isolated position, probably knocking it backwards to a defender. Not Jesus. As he's vacated the middle, he knows there's space there as he's dragged the Chelsea players over, so he drives into it. Note the delay before he moves. He's waiting until White moves past, and Odegaard shifts slightly to take those Chelsea players back just a touch before he has space to take the action. Also note the touch he takes, outside of the boot. Any other touch takes him too wide or takes too long. There's no pretending that any of this is long thought out and premeditated. It's inbuilt intelligence, unconscious competence. It's so smart. As also highlighted in the previous video, Jesus uses his body incredibly well for someone of his height. Here, he sees the ball coming towards him and keeps moving back, slightly delaying moving towards the ball to challenge it so he can arrive late, giving him the best opportunity to win the ball with a dynamic movement. He gives the defender just a small push in the back, not obvious enough to draw a foul, and ends up winning the duel against a huge defender. If he was in front of him, he wouldn't get to do that. The 90 seconds it took him to score, his delicious chip, him doing the sign of the cross while pressing, having just scored, it's all a joy to watch. But none of it happens without fiercely intelligent movement and play. Arteta's system switch up. For Variety and versatility are two words we're hearing a lot of, and I expect we'll hear it a lot more moving forward. Barring Turner, with Jesus, Zinchenko, Vieira and Marquinhos, every signing we're making this window, and in previous windows to an extent, can play in at least 2, sometimes 3 positions. What this means is we can move around in game, both in our defensive shape and our attacking structure, and we have. Arteta has moved through a number of systems in pre-season. A strike partnership, 3 at the back, his favoured 4-3-3, a 4-2-3-1, in my opinion to protect Nuno Tavares, and more. I think we'll see a lot of variation moving forward, and it gives you a lot of options. If you're comfortable with your principles, playing out from the back, combining in triangles in the midfield, switching in and out of zones in responses to movements, switching the point of the attack and more, you can move positions on the pitch too, and the play should have the same fluidity. If you're finding it difficult to get centrality, vacate it and move into it, or stack it with players. If you're getting overloaded on one side, switch to a wing-back system for 5 or 10 minutes to provide an extra man. If there's very little space in the midfield, put 4 in the attacking line and go long for a while. The 4-3-3, in my opinion, puts you in the best position to cover the most amount of space and create the most amount of quantitative and positional superiorities on the pitch in the Premier League at the moment. But having variance helps. Arteta has spoken about the need for more versatility, especially in the big games against the big teams, where quality difference is a factor, and we need to be able to adapt to find different solutions to problems, and I think we're beginning to see that. Finally, Maria Petru. This is the most important one to me. The sad passing of Arsenal fan Maria Petru. You probably didn't miss this, but just in case you did. Maria began following Arsenal in 1950, aged just 12, and remained a staunch supporter for the rest of her life. She was a regular presence at men's first team, reserve and youth team matches, and when Arsenal ladies were formed in 1987, she took them to her heart and became synonymous with the team based at Boreham Wood. Maria often said that Arsenal was her family. She's quoted as saying, "I shall be oh so upset when I die. I won't be able to watch Arsenal anymore." Here's an amazing clip of her singing one of her famous songs with Ray Parlour, the day after Arsenal's historic 14th FA Cup win in 2020.
Mine eyes have seen the glory of the boys in red and white. They were fighting for the club I love and love to fight the fight. They won the 14th Cup in style and travelled many a mile to be the all-time record winners. Hey!
Maria, to me, is what Arsenal is all about. Some fans seem unable to hold 2 truths, trying to win and enjoying the journey. If you're only satisfied and enjoying the football when you win titles, I suggest you find another sport. You won't find much joy in a low-scoring, high-stakes landscape with very few prizes of worth. And after all, football is just a sport, for entertainment and enjoyment. Maria sums up Arsenal's classy values, why I support them, unconditional support through good times and bad, and doing things the right way. It's not to be blind to the mistakes and areas of possible improvement, it's to embrace the club in every way and hope for progress always. I love this clip of Arteta on tour in Orlando when asked about Maria.
Well, first of all, obviously, we are really sorry to hear the news. She was an integral part of our supporters, our community, the way she transmitted the Arsenal values and the feelings of this football club. It was something like I have never seen before. She was everywhere, every single week, and yeah, she will be missed big time.
Perhaps I'm viewing this through my biased Arsenal lens, but I can't imagine this happening at basically any other club in the world, barring a few, maybe Liverpool, Celtic or Rangers. Managers knowing about individual fans, caring about that connection as much as we care about it. I believe it personally, but who cares if he's been briefed, or it's all a ploy to make the atmosphere better in the stadium and around the club? That's the point of support. It certainly doesn't happen too often at other clubs, and to me, that's what makes Arsenal special. Rest in peace, Maria, and I offer condolences to her family. Thank you so much for watching The Different Knock. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please consider supporting us on Patreon monthly or head to buymeacoffee.com for one-time support. You can find me at AMOnFootball on Twitter and we're at DiffKnock on all social media. Also, check out our podcast. All the links are in the video description. Thanks.